Right now, before the Badgers kick off at Camp Randall for a showdown against #1 ranked Oregon Ducks, our Tanisha Shaw takes us out to some tailgates to hear from both fandoms. Also, distracted and impaired driving is never good. That's why researchers at UW-Madison are studying the effects of being high and what that has on.
And we could be dealing with some snowflakes next week, along with some heavy rain. We're going to track it all out in the full forecast.
Welcome to News 3 Now. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. Now, the Badgers at this very moment are getting ready to kick off against #1 ranked Oregon Ducks. So a very special thank you to those of you still sticking around to watch our newscast. And with today featuring a top 5 matchup heading into Camp Randall yet again. Pre-game activities were pretty fired up, as you could imagine. Our Tanisha Shaw went out to check out some of the tailgates ahead of the big game.
Oregon fans traveled from coast to coast.
I traveled from Portland, Oregon.
Oh, I came in from New York, you know. I live out there, represent the Ducks.
To see the matchup between the Ducks and Badgers at Camp Randall Saturday.
About 6 hours from Omaha, Nebraska.
We drove, what, 400 miles?
Yep, from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, flew out from Boise, Idaho, so it took
Okay, so you took a flight for this.
a couple, yeah.
I talked to fans before kickoff.
Camp Randall is going to be Tent Randall after we're done with it.
Fans had a lot to say about Wisconsin, the state, and football team.
It's one thing I spend too much money on is Oregon football, so this is a great away venue. Madison's a good college town, and last time I was here was 2000, so this is fun.
Coming in and showing them how to play a little football, tactics, you know, bigger, better, faster.
Keep making that good beer and cheese. Well, yeah, we're good.
We got that going for you.
Go Badgers!
Go
We're going
Ducks.
to need it.
Yeah.
Oh,
come on.
And I also spoke to Wisconsin fans who are looking to keep their Badger pride strong throughout the weekend.
Never easy to come into camp at night, play the Badgers. You're always going to get a test.
Just like the basketball team last night did it, and the whole student section, everybody stormed the court, the same thing is going to happen today.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. Now later in the show, our Andrew Banster will give us an update on how the Badgers is doing against the Oregon Ducks in their big showdown. And now you're taking a live look at Madison, another beautiful and slightly gloomy fall day. To see how long that's going to stick around, let's get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller, who's out on the weather patio. Blaze.
It is going to be a bit of a breezy night out there, so if you're going to be watching the Badger game in person, or you've got friends or family there and they haven't left quite yet, it is just going to be a little bit on the breezier side. Winds are going to be out of the south. In terms of temperatures, we're in the 40s, still lingering near 50 in Boscobel right now, 46 in Janesville, 49 in Milwaukee, 50 in Kenosha. Into Dane County we go, kind of a smattering of temperatures, but right around 46, 47 degrees is kind of where we're all at. Quiet for the most part, but we're beginning to see some shower activity off towards the west. Very light in nature, and that's what we're expecting as we go throughout the rest of this evening and throughout your Sunday, is this light, maybe at times moderate shower activity, but a lot of us are going to stay dry. This is not going to be a widespread washout rain event by any means, and that's going to continue into your Sunday as well. I would say the threat now is for folks more west, and then tomorrow, especially into the afternoon, it's going to be across extreme southeastern parts of Wisconsin. If you're lucky, maybe a quarter of an inch of rain, but most of us will probably make off with less than a tenth of an inch of rain. So very light rain in nature tonight. 40s, we're not really going to cool off a whole lot from where we are right now. We're tracking 50s, rain, snow, and a mix of both in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, we'll see you then. Around the state of Wisconsin, 911 dispatcher was honored Friday for his role in a special delivery earlier this summer. A family in Chippewa County was actually headed to the hospital to give birth to their 5th child in August. However, they had to pull over on the side of the highway, and dispatcher Wade Davis helped them deliver their little girl. Davis actually met the newborn during Friday's ceremony. He says despite being a dispatcher for years, those kinds of calls are still pretty nerve-wracking. The name of the award was appropriately called the Stork Award. And to some more local news, the driver of a motorcycle crash involved in Jefferson County has died from their injuries. According to Jefferson County Sheriff Travis Mays, the crash happened at 2:25 p.m. on STH 89 north of CTHQ. An initial investigation showed a motorcycle was traveling northbound on STH 89 when it was struck from behind. The driver of the motorcycle eventually died from their injuries. Meanwhile, the lone driver of the vehicle was hospitalized with minor injuries. Authorities in Dane County and a Dane County city are investigating reports of people finding disturbing anti-Semitic flyers placed throughout their community. A Fitchburg neighborhood was littered with the hateful handouts Thursday night. The flyers are largely anti-Semitic in nature and promote white supremacy. Police say they were found in a neighborhood south of McKee Road.
It's just extremely disheartening. I was literally nauseated most of the morning from finding this and just thinking how people that probably are in our own community or Dane County residents that are spreading this. I don't understand, I guess. And I feel hurt and I feel sorry for them.
Fitchburg police say they are working on finding out who did this. However, once they do, they may not legally be able to do anything due to the protected rights in the First Amendment. A Sun Prairie School Board member who publicly resigned Tuesday is speaking out exclusively to News 3 Now. Alan Foster said his decision to resign came after years of systemic issues. Sun Prairie School residents voted for Foster in 2021, and he won re-election this year. Foster telling us that giving up his seat was not an easy decision.
I resigned because I didn't appreciate the treatment that the way that the situation with Miss Coleman was handled. I thought that there were better methods, better options, better practices to handle.
The district released a statement Friday in response to Foster's resignation. It reads, "The Board of Education extends its gratitude to Mr. Foster for his years of service and support of the Sun Prairie community." The same statement did not address the concerns of racism, but says the process to replace Foster will be transparent. Now, you've heard of the dangers of drinking while driving and texting while driving, but what about getting high while driving? That's the question researchers at UW-Madison are trying to understand. Our Ellie LaLiberte shows us what unique tools the study is using.
Driving in this car may not get you far, but it serves another purpose. From one roadway to another.
We're looking for changes in how they're driving.
Heather Barkholt is an associate professor at UW-Madison. She's trying to figure out the implications of Delta 8 and Delta 9 products on driving.
I looked at the literature and I found out that we don't know much at all.
Delta 8 and 9 are hemp-derived products that can still get you high.
And there's this misconception that people consume cannabis and are actually better drivers. So we want to gather some objective data on how driving performance changes when consuming these compounds.
The driving simulator in UW's medical engineering building has been used to study texting and driving, drinking and driving, and now the effects of cannabis on driving.
And the beauty of the full car is that when we have subjects that come and do testing in this vehicle, they forget quickly that they're not actually driving a vehicle on a real roadway.
David Noyce is the director of the driving simulator lab. He showed me how it works.
And put it in drive and off we go.
For this pilot study, 5 people will operate the simulator after a dose of Delta 8, Delta 9, or a placebo. Researchers will then look at factors like swerving in the lane and response times.
If we're not studying these compounds in people, we're not getting representative data.
Part of the goal is to educate on the impacts of being high while driving and why people maybe shouldn't take the high road.
That we need to get better at understanding how cannabis itself impairs people and what those impairment measures look like, so that when law enforcement are out patrolling the roads and making sure that people are behaving safely, we're giving them the best data we have on what to look for.
Researchers are hoping to use this study to get more money for future research. Reporting on UW's campus, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. Saturday, the Dane County Farmers Market kicked off its first of 5 holiday markets at the Monona Terrace. For the next 5 Saturdays, the Dane County Farmers Market is taking all of its vendors, goods, and customers from across Wisconsin indoors for all to enjoy. 65 vendors will be on tap for you to get all your Thanksgiving and Christmas meal shopping done, along with a selection of locally made candles, soaps, wreaths, and much more.
Look forward to it, to talk to other farmers too, just to camaraderie. We go through the same trials and tribulations during a growing season, so it's always enjoyable to catch up with other farmers.
The last day of the holiday market is December 21st. And coming up next on News 3 Now, Trump's transition back into Washington continues. Plus, some shakeups in the Democratic Party may include one prominent Wisconsin figure.
There are so many Medicare choices. How do I know which is right for me?
Let's get John McGivern's opinion. Hey, John.
Hey, Tammy.
Can you tell them what you told me last year about Network Health?
Well, sure. Did you tell them that Network Health has plans with a Part B premium give back? That's money back in your pocket. Dental and vision benefits, even plans with a $0 monthly premium.
I don't have to. You just did.
Oh, I guess I did.
Hot tubs, hot tubs, hot tubs. The Hot Tub Swim Spa Expo is at Bachman's Pool Spas and Saunas this weekend only. Hundreds of hot tubs from the world's leading brands like Hot Spring Hot Tubs, all discounted. Hot tubs as low as $79 a month. 0% financing. Swim spas up to $20,000 off. Saunas as low as $79 a month. Hot tubs, swim spas, and saunas up to 40% off. Come save thousands this weekend at Bachman's Pool Spas and Saunas. SpaExpoWisconsin.com.
This is for all the lonely people, thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you drink from the silver cup and ride that highway in the sky.
Score the lowest prices of the year right now at Brothers Main's Black Friday sale. You won't find lower prices anywhere, and enjoy our free delivery. Shop family-owned Brothers Main's low price guarantee on brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and Amana. Feel like family. Brothers Main.
If you have to ask why it's important to start your day early, here's your answer.
Enjoy an early morning with a sausage McMuffin with egg. Right now, get 2 for just $6.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
On Capitol Hill this week, an effort is underway to bolster Republican support for one of President-elect Donald Trump's more controversial cabinet picks, Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. There could also be a battle ahead for some of Trump's other picks, including his choice for Secretary of Defense. CBS correspondent Christian Benavides reports from West Palm Beach, Florida.
President-elect Trump is rapidly naming his cabinet picks while celebrating his resounding election victory.
Won the White House, recaptured the Senate, and now, as of today, recaptured the House.
Trump is the first Republican to win the popular and electoral vote since George W. Bush did it in 2004.
I will never stop fighting for you.
Saturday morning on his social media site, the president-elect posted this video calling this month's election the greatest political comeback in American history. Later, Trump announced he is nominating Chris Wright as his Secretary of Energy and a member of the newly formed Council of National Energy. Wright is CEO and chairman of Denver-based Liberty Energy.
To push through his cabinet choices, President-elect Trump has called for recess appointments so his nominees, including controversial ones, can bypass the Senate confirmation process. Trump's team has responded to sexual misconduct allegations against Pete Hegseth, Trump's choice for Secretary of Defense, defending his qualifications and noting that Hegseth has vigorously denied any and all accusations. And Trump's choice of Matt Gaetz for U.S. Attorney General is also raising concern among Democrats and some Republicans. Gaetz was once the subject of a federal sex trafficking investigation.
Fortunately, that's why we have the Senate advice and consent process.
After his nomination, the Florida Republican gave up his congressional seat this week, blocking at least temporarily the release of a House Ethics Committee report. The report looked into allegations Gaetz was involved in sexual misconduct with a minor and illicit drug use. Gaetz denies any wrongdoing. Christian Benavides, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
Pete Hegseth's tattoos have also come under some public scrutiny, especially one that has been tied to white supremacists, and it was the rallying cry of the Crusaders. And some positions within the Democratic Party are being shaken up. The chair of Wisconsin's Democrats is reportedly being considered for a leadership position with the Democratic National Committee. Ben Winkler has chaired the Wisconsin Democratic Party since 2019. Winkler is among a half a dozen people being considered as the party reimagines its brand and strategy in the wake of the election's loss. And coming up next, Blaze returns with a complete look of your first one forecast.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, lease a new 2024 Tacoma for $299 a month or get 3.99% APR for 72 months on a new Tacoma. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
A lot of law firms claim to be experts at handling injury cases that involve large trucks. But handling one trucking case does not make you an expert on the subject. Experience matters in these cases. One local firm has handled 25 trucking cases which resulted in payments over $1 million each, and hundreds of others as well. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Thanksgiving's only a few weeks away, and Fleet Farm's got just what you need to prep for family and friends. For you turkey smokers, Griller's Gold barbecue pellets are just $5.99 a bag. And you can never have enough Fleet Farm mixed nuts. 2-pound bags are on sale for $12.99. Wash it all down with Bubbler's sparkling water. Now just $11 for 2 6-packs. The holidays will be here before you know it. So stock up now on everything you need at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
I've got arthritis in my joints. I would walk 10 steps and not have to sit down. I wanted to do anything other than go through the pain and the effort of the surgery.
That's when Mike discovered QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. All natural treatments to restore and repair your damaged joint tissue and get you back to living a normal life again with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime.
Afterwards, I felt like I really made the right choice. It's a tremendous success.
Join tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have found lasting relief from their joint pain. Request a free consultation and find out if you're qualified for this therapeutic breakthrough. Call 608-927-4530.
If you want to avoid the process of surgery and the pain and the effort, you need to go to QC Kinetics.
Isn't it time you got your life back? Call now for your free consultation. 608-927-4530. 608-927-4530.
Let's get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
And our temperatures are going to stay pretty mild, if not just slightly warmer than average. So pretty seasonal here over the next few days, but certainly back into those 50s through at least Tuesday. Isolated rain chance not only this evening, but into your Sunday as well. But we are going to be much more active as we go into next week. So here's a look at the next 12 hours. Again, an isolated shower may be possible. We're pretty much going to stay at our current temperature right around 46, 47 degrees. Underneath mostly cloudy conditions all the way through at least the morning hours on your Sunday. Winds are going to be out of the south and could be breezy with gusts up to 30 miles per hour at times. So let's jump ahead to the next big system, because this is going to be the one that kind of impacts us for a couple of days, to say the least. It begins to impact southern Wisconsin as we go into the afternoon hours on Monday. This is going to be our first round of precipitation. As you can see, green, so it's going to be rain. But as this low pressure system makes its way northwards, it's going to be pulling down some cooler air as we go into your Wednesday. And that's going to allow for some cooler air to turn some of this rain over to snow as we go into Thursday and then further into Friday. In terms of rain and versus snow, rain is going to be kind of the bigger player in this next system that could last through at least maybe Wednesday night into Thursday. We're looking at maybe an additional ½ an inch to 1.5 inches of rain. So anybody in the blue, that's at least ½ an inch. And then you get to the lightest blue here. That's a good portion of the News 3 Now coverage area. That's teetering on about 1.5 inches of rain. And a lot of this is going to fall Monday into Tuesday as we dry out Tuesday before maybe more of that rain-snow mix moves in going Wednesday onwards. So in terms of snow totals, and again, folks who have been waiting for snow, it's not going to be a lot, probably less than an inch, probably less than a half an inch of snow. So for folks who don't want the snow, this is some good news. It's not going to be sticking around. We haven't had prolonged cold to get our ground to be at or below freezing for that snow to stick around, and our air temperatures, as you'll see here in just a moment, are pretty much in the 40s even as the system moves on through. But this is coming between when we usually see our first measurable snow and when we usually average our first inch of snow. So we're kind of right in the middle there. 50s tomorrow, mostly cloudy conditions, a little bit more sunshine maybe towards Prairie du Chien, La Crosse, maybe into extreme western portions of the Wisconsin River Valley, I should say eastern portions, but the rain shower chance tomorrow is going to be minimal to none. Just take us with you. The First Warn weather app, you can track out the showers if you think it's going to be raining, but most of us will stay dry tomorrow. There's a look at your 10-day forecast. We go from the 50s to the 40s Tuesday into Wednesday, and Jalen, folks at home, no sooner than Wednesday would we maybe see some snowflakes mixing in with that rain before we quiet down to round out next week.
When you were heading outside for the first check of the forecast, I saw you had on the gloves. I'm like, is it really that time of the year now where we gotta break out the gloves?
A little bit. You know what? Just the little breeze. I need the gloves.
They look good, though. Really fashionable. Sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. Still ahead, Andrew joins us and brings us inside of Bo Ryan's Banner Day next in sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Insurance costs going up? Erie Insurance has great coverages, rates, and claim service. And your rates won't increase because of celebrity advertising campaigns or sports stadium sponsorships. Call Affordable Insurance Solutions for your auto, home, or business quote and see what Erie Insurance can do for you.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today.
The excellence of driving a Buick is matched by the excellence of the dealership experience when you own a Buick. Buick, exceptional by design.
Get 0.9% APR. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get $3,000 purchase allowance on this 2024 Encore GX. For attractive offers, visit these Buick dealers today.
I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
I just this morning made a new hole in my belt, so that was super exciting.
Why are women everywhere choosing Sonobello, the advanced solution for permanent fat removal?
I saw the results immediately. It's the best I have felt since I was in my 20s.
My waist is tiny. I'm very, very happy.
I'm nearly 50, y'all, and my abs haven't been this flat since before I had kids.
For a limited time, take advantage of Sonobello's best offer of the year. Sonobello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells for good on your stomach, hips and thighs, back, and so much more.
Check it out, Snatch Waist. Loving the results.
It will change your life. It did for me.
Call 1-888-510-6198 now or go to sonobello.com to claim special pricing.
In 2011, Wisconsin's Act 10 law brought unprecedented protests to our state capitol. But 4 months ago, the pendulum swung back. I'll show you how Act 10's repeal could open a new path forward for state workers. Monday night on News 3 Now at 6.
Wisconsin women's hockey has done just about everything, but they hadn't beaten Ohio State in Columbus since 2020. Not to mention, the Buckeyes beat the Badgers in the national championship game last year. Today, Bucky dug themselves in a 2-0 hole early, but here comes Kirsten Sims. She deflects Casey O'Brien's pass right through the 5-hole. Her 6th goal of the season makes it a 2-1 game, but later it was more of the same. Wisconsin again chasing 2 goals in the 3rd period. They get another one back here. Maggie Scannell scores, but the scoring would stop there. The Badgers settle with a series split, 3-2, Ohio State the final. Earlier this year, Bo Ryan got enshrined in his rightful place in basketball history, the Hall of Fame. Last night, a banner with his name took its rightful place in Badger history in the Kohl Center rafters. Ryan made Badger fans believe, taking Bucky to the big dance in each of his 14 seasons as head coach for Wisconsin men's basketball, and of course, guided them to back-to-back Final Four appearances, but still doesn't take the credit.
To me, what happened was, if they're honoring the coach, they're honoring the program. And an honor like this says, hey, that guy must have had some pretty good players. And we did. But what's it mean to me is that we can have a night like this and share it with other people.
And all of that celebration with Bo and the 2014, 2015, and 2013 too Final Four teams seemed to help the Badgers. If you missed it, they took down 9th-ranked Arizona last night. John Tonje scored 41 points, 2 shy of Frank Kaminsky's Wisconsin record. The Badgers won it big, 103-88. And the Bucks trying to get their 3rd straight win. They need it after a sour start, but today in the Queen City, they couldn't clean up. Leading by 1, less than 30 seconds to go, I should say trailing by 1. Giannis can't get that buzzer beater to drop, and the Bucks lose again, 115-114, the final. As we speak, Wisconsin football is trying to tackle a top 10 opponent of their own. Down at Camp Randall, the Badgers are playing the #1 team in the country right now. The Oregon Ducks flew southwest for Madison. We're still real early in this one, but the score we've got, not exactly what you want to see. 3-0 Oregon leads it. And how about this? Platteville finished off a near-perfect regular season today. They beat Stout, and because of that, for the first time since 1970, the Pioneers clinched the WIAC title outright. How about that for Platteville? And we finish here. Today was day 2 of the Girls State Swim Meet, which means it's time for Division I. DeForest Peyton Flowers capped off her Norski career in storybook fashion, surging away and winning the state title in the 50-yard freestyle. And Middleton trying to repeat last year's state title. It started off well, 200-yard medley. The relay team anchored by Solia Miller, and Miller brings it home. Middleton takes the 200 and yet another state title. That's back-to-back state titles for Middleton. How about those Cardinals and the Pioneers?
Yeah, absolutely. You said since 1970?
Yes.
Claiming the WIAC title? That's
outright,
awesome.
yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, we're closing out here quickly. Quick check of the forecast for you.
Yeah, quiet tonight, maybe an isolated shower or two, but I think a lot of us are going to stay dry, not only tonight, but into your Sunday as well. More rain, snow, and a mix of both arrive next week.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you back here at 10.